if I'd have had any one inkling that it was all a scam, but I really don't know what kind of a relationship I have with my daughter. This was when we first was finding out that she couldn't walk. Okay, well, so I talked to Dee Dee about it, and she's like, yeah, her condition is not like a critical condition right now.
Sure.
Sometimes her legs hurt her and she's got to use the wheelchair. That's just it. She couldn't walk anymore at all. I've never been to the doctor with her. I can't say for sure on any of those. The only thing I could say that I'm pretty sure she had was epilepsy. She might have been 8 or 9. And one of her eyes was like off to the side, you know, like from the epileptic fits.
What's going on today?
Did we speak with you? I think you probably spoke to my sister.
You may have called a couple
I
times.
called you was in, you went to Wisconsin.
Yes, so you probably talked to one of our other
Judy.
detectives. Yeah.
Judy Walker.
Sergeant Walker,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
So what brings you here today?
Well, we came for her court hearing this morning.
Yeah, I thought I might have seen you up there.
And wanted to visit with her, see if we could visit with her and
Sure.
see what else we can do to support her.
Right,
You know,
sure.
We got a couple of issues with, you know, we don't know what we're gonna do with her mother's body or ashes. I'd like to be able to talk to Gypsy and see how she wants to handle that.
Sure.
She has family back at home that they're wondering, you know, if they can have her ashes sent back there or
Right.
or Gypsy wants to wait and have a ceremony maybe years from now, but
Sure.
so there's some things we kind of want to business-wise taken care of.
Yeah, sure, I understand that.
And assist y'all in any kind of way, you know.
Okay. As far as that part of it goes, you'd probably have to have her sign you up for the visitation, on the visitation list. And you might also talk with maybe some of the jail administration. I don't know if they make any arrangements for a special visit for you or not.
That would be these guys here. behind the
Yeah,
desk.
right next door over here. Just tell them you need to talk to like a captain or a lieutenant or something.
Yeah, well, that's what I was asking.
Sergeant Hunt that was in here just a minute ago.
He's
Yeah,
gonna pass it up. He said the
Okay.
captain's on vacation right now. So
yeah, and he will do that. He'll make sure he gets that up there. And he's got phone numbers and everything with him.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because they'll have to be the ones to arrange all that for you. Now, if she put you down on the visitation list,
She
does
should.
does she know
She
that
knows
you're
we're
here?
here. Yeah.
Okay.
We was able to see her really briefly this
Okay,
morning after
gotcha.
court. The judge
Okay.
allowed us to
Good.
go in that little side room.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
just say hi real quick.
Okay,
So
good.
at least we could do
Did
that.
she have quite a bit of family members that were there in the courtroom today, or
There was 3 of us.
3 of you guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
My sister we just went pick her up at the airport. She wasn't able
Wasn't
to
able to
leave
make
with us
it.
yesterday morning early.
Okay.
She's here now.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know Gypsy and I didn't know Dee Dee. I mean, obviously you knew them. I mean, is there anything maybe that I don't know that I need to be aware of or anything that
Did you get notes from Judy Walker?
I have not yet because I've been
Yeah.
doing my own leads on
I
stuff
spoke to her pretty extensively on the phone.
Okay.
She spoke with my wife.
and gave her most of that information.
Yeah, I gave her from what I could remember, our dealings with Dee Dee, our
Sure.
relationship, and I sent her the checking account that I was making the child support payments to.
Okay, all right,
Well, I gave her the bank number. I don't know if I had the specific account number.
right.
So she does have a lot of that information.
Okay, all right.
And if you look over her notes or whatever, and you have any questions, you can call me and ask.
Okay, yeah, I think Judy's got your number. Phone number.
But we went over some things, a lot of things. You know.
Okay, all right. Well, so you know, I'm the lead investigator on this. I don't know if you're aware of that or not, so.
Yeah, she told me that.
Okay, all right.
And I know I'm sure you got a lot of stuff on your plate
Yeah,
to look through and everything.
I do. It's kind of a bad deal all the way around.
Yeah,
you know.
it's a tragedy. Like I told Judy, if I'd have had any one inkling that it was all a scam, or if Gypsy would have ever once made that insinuation, but every time I spoke to Gypsy, Dee Dee was always had her prepped. Like I'd call her and she'd be like, well, she's not feeling good right now, she's taking a nap. Call back tomorrow at like 2:00.
Right.
I'll have her ready for you. I call back the next day and I talked to Dee Dee for a little while, and she said, okay, I got her right here, and she gave her the phone. So it's like I told Judy. I said, man, I'm coming up there, but I really don't know what kind of a relationship I have with my daughter.
Right.
I don't know. She's never called me like on my cell phone.
You've always been the one initiating most of the conversations and stuff with your daughter.
It was back and forth. Sometimes
Sure.
Dee Dee would call me to kind of check in, fill me
Right.
in on her supposedly conditions and everything.
Mhm.
Or I'd contact them and then we'd speak, you know.
Right. Now you say supposed condition. What makes you say that?
Well, the fact that she's walking now.
Okay. Did you have any inclination that she could walk?
It's like I told you, years ago, her sister or somebody had called me. And this was when we first was finding out that she couldn't walk,
Sure.
that it was a condition. And she said, you know, Rod, Gypsy's walking. I seen her running around the yard and everything the other day. I'm like, oh, really? I said, okay, well, so I talked to Dee Dee about it, and she's like, yeah, her condition is not like a critical condition right now.
Sure.
Sometimes her legs hurt her and she's got to use the wheelchair.
Right.
And I assumed over the years after they moved away that the condition got extensively worse.
Sure.
And that was just it. She couldn't walk anymore at all.
Right.
You know, I was never in an inclination that
She was actually.
she was actually making her stay in a wheelchair
Okay.
for whatever reasons.
Sure.
You know, and like I told Judy, I've never been to the doctor with her.
Okay.
I can't say for sure on any of those. The only thing I could say that I'm pretty sure she had was epilepsy, because I remember visiting her one time. She might have been 8 or 9, and one of her eyes was like off to the side, you know, from the epileptic fits.
Okay.
And Dee Dee told me they had surgery to kind of help fix the muscle a little bit in her eyes, or a little straighter now. But as far as physically seeing her throwing up or
Sure.
any symptoms
Right.
wise, I've never.
You know, her hair is really short. You know, is that how she normally keeps her hair? Or?
Dee Dee told me her hair would fall out from chemo treatments,
Okay.
and that she had wigs. But it doesn't look like her hair is thin at all
No.
to me.
It doesn't to me either, but
So
you probably know her a little bit better than I do, but.
yeah, I mean that's the impression I have, that why her hair is so short.
Sure. Okay.
That it was some kind of guys that her mother put her under to whatever.
Sure.
Good old Dee Dee, she's a deceiving woman, man. She fooled me all them years.
Yeah.
Her neighbors. You know, I think it's a tragedy that somebody can do that to their own mother. You gotta be pushed to a limit. I mean, I don't care. I mean, I got mad at my mama a bunch of times
Sure.
over girls or whatever.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
never once would have ever thought of being in any part or knowing about. I mean, I'm not saying she did it or whatever, but
Sure.
you know, I think it's obvious she had something to do with it for sure. You know, from what I've heard.
Sure.
You know, I just think she kind of controlled her. I understood she tried to run away a few times. I wish to God she would have, you know, contacted me back then.
Right.
Maybe she didn't. I don't know. I really hadn't talked to her. You
Yeah.
know. Mr. Hancock, I don't know.
Sure.
I have a lot of I don't knows and I'm confused, and that's why I want to
And
see her
absolutely.
and I ask her, you know, why you never called Dad?
Sure.
You know,
Right.
I was always there for you. I was still sending her $1,200 a month.
Is that what you were
Up
ordered
till-
to pay in child support?
No, I was ordered to pay the last court order I had. I think it might have been $350 a month.
But you were sending her more?
Yeah, as you know, as you get older, you make
Sure.
more money. I moved up in my career. I'm a
Right.
you know, boat captain now.
Okay.
So it's gotten up to $1,200 a month that
Sure.
I was sending her.
Was that on your own? Did you just kind of start giving her more on your own? You didn't never
On
work
my
with
own.
her?
No, I never had the last court order I had for child support was $350.
Okay. Well, that was
Yeah,
coming
I have
by.
those papers.
Sure.
Probably, I don't know, 2006 maybe.
Okay.
So as I made more money, I felt like,
Oh,
you know, the court's gonna bring you anyway eventually or
Right.
something, so.
Sure.
I bumped it up, and after she turned 18, I kept sending it.
Right.
I was under the assumption that Dee Dee would never work. It was a full-time job,
Yeah.
according to her, that she
Sure.
would take care of
Right.
Gypsy, so I just kept sending it, you know.
How old is Gypsy?
23.
Okay. We've had some different dates of birth, and I think we
July
got that all.
27,
Yeah.
1991.
July 27th. Okay. I think we finally got all that straightened out, and I figured since you're
Yeah,
here,
I'm gonna
I'd
try to
just
get her
ask you.
birth certificate when we get back home.
Okay, I think we have a copy of it, but
Okay.
if you get one and wanna send me a copy, fax it to me or whatever, that'd be fine too.
Okay.
Original would be awesome, but
Yeah.
I'll leave that kind of up to you on that. Yeah, I really don't know, have you talked to her attorney about trying to get a private visit with her, like a off-schedule visit? And when I say off-schedule, what I mean by that is, basically her days that she has visitations, there's certain days that she has visitations on, and I don't know, you may have to go, talk with them or even talk to her attorney or
We're
whatever.
gonna meet with her attorney tomorrow.
Okay,
That
it's something you
one's
might ask him about,
Yeah.
see if he can't set something up if you don't get anything from next door
Okay.
there, so. Well, I mean, I'm sorry to meet you on these circumstances and, it's your daughter and I understand kind of where you're coming from. I'm not in your shoes and can't fully understand, but at the same time,
Yeah.
I've raised kids myself and know
Yeah.
it's, you love them no matter what.
I met Dee Dee at I was 17.
Wow.
I didn't know her true
Gosh.
age. I
Yeah.
thought she was 22. She was 24 that I just
Oh, no
found out.
kidding?
Yeah, and we dated a couple of months and she got pregnant. And I was never in love with her,
Sure,
between you and I or whatever.
sure.
And I'm from the South where Christians
Yeah.
do the right thing.
Sure.
And that's why I was raised. And I said,
Right.
we need to get married.
Sure.
I gave it a good effort. When I turned 18, my 18th birthday, I said, man, look, this ain't right.
Yeah.
I'll never make them happy. I'll never be happy.
Right.
So I left, and first 4, 5, 6, 7 years, Dee Dee kept it from me, like, made her scared of me.
Hmm.
I visited her at about 2 years old, and when we got there, Gypsy was shaking. I'm like, man, what are you telling her? And they moved with her father. That didn't go good. After her mom died, I'm not sure.
After Dee Dee's mom died.
After Dee Dee's mom died, they moved with Gypsy's, Dee Dee's father and his wife. And that relationship, I don't know, my wife says that she tried poisoning the mother-in-law and because she was sick while she was there and Dee Dee left and she got
Yeah, I
better.
heard something about
But they
that.
ended up
Yeah.
like moving away and disowning her own family.
Hmm.
Much less getting away from me.
Sure.
Like I was a big threat.
Can I ask you something based on that? Be honest with me. If you don't have to tell me, but I appreciate some honesty here. There was rumor that apparently you were abusive to them. I mean, did you and Dee Dee ever fight and get into a physical of any kind? Have any police records or anything of that
Absolutely
nature?
not.
Okay.
Never, ever.
All right.
We never like physically got in each other's face and argued.
Sure. Just regular
I
arguments.
mean, how many fights can you have when you're just dating somebody in 3
Right.
months?
Sure.
It was together 3, maybe 6 months that we were together.
Okay.
After I left, we never got back together.
Sure.
She did come stay with me and my mom for a few days because she didn't have any other place to go.
Right.
We took her in until she found something.
Okay.
And then she moved away. She moved away and kept her away. We had made a couple of trips that we had planned to go to Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Right before the trip, nothing. 2 years ago, we went to Tennessee, my wife and my other daughter. I was gonna make a triangle. Tennessee, come see Dee Dee and Gypsy, and we'd go home. The whole week before, the whole time we was on vacation, call. Never answered, talked to her a week later or something, and you know what happened?
Yeah.
Oh, Gypsy got sick, we had to go stay at the hospital for a week or something.
Yeah.
So it's-
They used to
always
live in
something.
Louisiana, obviously, right? So how'd they get to Missouri?
It was after Katrina, they got relocated.
Okay.
We didn't hear that from them probably 3 or 4 months after Katrina.
Wow.
We were worried.
Sure.
Oh
yeah.
I believe they was living in somewhere around Mandeville, maybe,
Okay.
which is close to where Katrina, the eye pass and everything. I imagine they evacuated before the storm,
Sure.
but that's what happened. Some kind of way, maybe Blue Cross brought her or
Sure.
something.
Okay. We were wondering about if that was actually true or not.
Yeah, it was true. That was the
Okay.
time frame. That's
And that was back in when, do you know? Remember?
no,
It's been so long ago, I don't remember when Katrina actually hit down there.
yeah. I'd have to look it up.
That's fine. Well, obviously you were in court this morning and
Mhm.
kind of heard, so, come July, there's gonna be a preliminary hearing, so
Yeah, I'll go.
you
I'll
gonna be
back
here
for
for
that.
that? Okay, all right.
And the trial, I imagine the trial, it's not gonna be 2 weeks after that.
No, I wouldn't think so, but you never know, and then,
Yeah.
you know, that stuff can extend for a long time too, so. Well, anything else that you think would be important, or?
I don't know, it's just so much crap right now.
Yeah, it's hard to take a lot
It's hard
in.
to pinpoint any particular
Sure,
point that would make a difference in any way. I mean,
right,
there's a lot of stuff out there on the internet that some of it's true, I guess. A lot of stuff about myself that, like I told my wife, I said, don't even try to respond
Yeah.
to any even that I haven't, you
Yeah.
know, or even nothing. Not even please pray for my family or nothing. I mean, it don't even,
right,
people's gonna judge you.
yeah,
I mean, I could have. They just don't know. That's what they like to do. They like to get nosy and judge. And everything.
calculate
So
and do all
it is
that
what it is.
stuff.
I have a
Yeah.
good handful of friends back home that
Good,
know I'm a good father and friend.
and
And
that
they
you
would
can
be right
lean
here
on them if
tomorrow.
you need them.
Yeah, they'd be here
Okay.
right now if I needed them.
Okay, good,
So I mean, I don't feel like I have to explain myself to anybody.
right, absolutely,
It's a tragedy that. It's just a tragedy.
yeah. It
That
is.
something could lead to that.
Yeah, it is. You know, there's a lot of stuff out there. So, well, I appreciate you coming in. I don't know if anything else I can think of that. Let me talk to Sergeant Hunt real quick and make sure he hasn't gotten anything else from you or anything like that. So I'll be right back with you. man.
Appreciate your
Uh-huh.
time and everything.
All right, you can come on out here. He's notified the jail staff, so just whenever they get in touch with him, he'll be in touch with you. He'll let you know when he found out. So, you might just get a little bit.